Mm-hmm. Come on in. 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 Oh, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, I hear myself. Hello, hello. 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 Come on in. Okay, sound is good. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to our Friday night chat. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, there y'all go. Let me put my little welcome message. Welcome. Be sure to like the broadcast and subscribe. Green check. Boom. How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Quest, what's up? I know that's right. What up though? How they be I be struggling, y'all. How they be doing that? Hey Ember. Yes, you made it, love. You made it. Come on in, y'all. Jasmine, what's up, Jasmine? You said, I know it wasn't funny, but when you were describing the incident with your baby daddy, I was cracking up. Oh my God. It is funny. Honestly, it's very funny. It's not funny at the time, but when you look back on stuff sometimes, it really is hilarious. And my thing is, like, not to sound like someone who I don't really care for, but when I look back on certain things that were like really serious, sometimes I deal with it with humor. But I get what you're saying. Hey, Kathleen, what's up? I know, what up though? Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you so much. I worked really hard on my makeup tonight, you guys. I actually needed to get some more products, not like a whole lot of stuff, because I get stuff from the beauty supply store. All of this is not like, what do you call it? All of this is not like professional products. It's literally just $2.99, $1.99 beauty supply store, because that's what we got to do. And we make it do what it do. Okay. So thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate it. I worked really hard on my makeup tonight, you guys. I'm trying to upgrade and upscale my makeup and like my techniques, because I noticed sometimes that I actually look older with makeup on. I look different. I'm gonna just say I look different. And I don't always like to wear makeup, but I like to play in makeup because I'm creative. So thank you guys so much for all of you who are complimenting me. Thank you. Thank you, Danny Zebra. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Sherry, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We got so much that we need to talk about tonight, you guys, but not like a whole lot. I just wanted to have another cute little chat with y'all. To be honest with you, I'm really like tired. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am tired. I'm exhausted. But I told y'all I am in my Virgo mode. I'm really feeling this Virgo energy. So I'm very determined to keep my word to myself on certain things. So of course we are here. Let me get this lotion. I need to put some lotion on. Y'all come on in. Let me know what y'all doing. What y'all doing on this Good Friday night here? Well, it's not Good Friday, but what y'all doing? Is it Good Friday? Y'all, is it Good Friday? Come on in and like the video, you guys. Like the video as you come in. Like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Is it Good Friday? I don't know. I might be wrong. But it is a Good Friday because we here and we alive. That's why it's good. Yes, B-Day twin, Jasmine. I know that's right. Oh my goodness. Brisk. I like that name, Brisk Jones. The face is beat to the gods. It don't matter the cost, you did that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is so sweet. Oh my God. Hey, Tracy. Welcome in. Welcome in. Super Caramels, my girl. Hello. You working and chilling? Well, you get it in, girl. You get it in and you relax while we have this conversation, okay? Listen. Okay, yes, Jasmine, you watching that reading? It's so weird. Like, I just feel like I'm not even gonna address it. Thank you for watching the reading. Oh man, Amish Paradise. Hello. Oh, thank you. Yes, welcome everybody. Brisky said, "Child, I'm trying to see if I'm coming or going." Look, wait. Let me get my eyes. Let me make sure my eyes look crossed. Wait, do they look crossed? Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying to figure out if I'm coming or going. Bitch, I don't know if I'm here or there. I don't know if I'm here, there, or everywhere. I'm just all over the place trying to make sure that all my body parts stay attached. Okay? It's a lot going on. Listen, because I wanted to talk to y'all tonight. We got to touch on a few different things. You know how I always do. We're going to start off with announcements. Then we're going to talk about a topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, I want to talk to y'all about the post that we did. There's been so much going on, like in the media and things like that. And there's just been a lot of things that I've been noticing. And I feel like one of the poll questions that we did a few weeks ago is very reminiscent of some of the things that I've been seeing happening. And I wanted to discuss it with you guys and talk about some of y'all's comments and what you said. And I also want to talk to y'all about AI. Because it's just been some stuff going on with AI. And I know that it's just a lot to take in. And I wanted to have a little talk about AI and some of the things that I've been picking up on spiritually, some of the things that I've been getting from like my spirit team, and discuss like what's been going on, what's been in the news and things like that. So we're going to talk about that, but it's real chill, real low key. Okay. Quest, you said you're driving from Mass to Connecticut. Ooh, I don't know if that's far. Is that a long drive from Mass to Connecticut? I ain't never been around them parts. Y'all don't judge me. This is how I put on my bracelet. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my God. I'm nervous. Y'all making me nervous. Oh my God. See, I don't know if I'm coming or going, bitch. This is how I put on my bracelet. There we go. Hey, make it happen. Yeah, is that a far drive? Oh, Good Friday is the Friday before Easter Sunday. Oh, okay. We got a long way to go. Something must be happening on Good Friday for me to say something about it. 2 hours? Okay. Safe travels, my love. Get there safely, okay? You love the vibes, Armish? Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so listen. You said, thank you for always being so supportive and understanding with your wisdom. Oh, of course. Like, period. Thank you guys for always being supportive of me with my craziness, with my eclectic style and the way that I act and the way that I talk sometimes. Thank you guys for seeing me and understanding me. I appreciate all of you guys for being here tonight, and anybody who's watching later on playback. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to y'all as well for everybody who like let me know about the hype button. So let's get into a few announcements. So I wanted to talk first about that hype button. If you guys watch my videos on a regular basis, most of you guys already have been hyping up the videos. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for that, because I knew that they were going to create this hype button thing a while back, but I knew that it wasn't live yet for everybody. They had released a YouTube update for content creators. I can't remember what the channel is called, but it's like Creator Network, I think, for YouTube creators. And they talked about the hype button being available to select few people. So basically, it wasn't live for everyone. And I think it has, well, it's gone live now. So if you guys see it, I don't know why some of us can't see it, because I'm not the only one. I've actually watched a few videos, and there are content creators that are in the comments of those videos who say that they personally can't see the hype button when they watch YouTube and they watch other creators, but they say that their subscribers can see the hype button. Child, I don't know what's going on. They also implemented this little AI section on YouTube when you watch a video where it says like ask or something. I think it's on mobile, but it says ask. And you basically get a gist of what the video is about. It's just so crazy. AI is infiltrating our lives, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But just so you guys know, if you weren't aware, if you can, try to make sure your YouTube app is updated. And if you do see the hype button, just hype up my videos as much as you can, you guys, because supposedly, allegedly, it's supposed to help smaller creators. And your support is really, really beneficial. And I just appreciate so many of you guys who just took it upon yourselves without me saying anything to just go ahead and hype up the videos. I really appreciate that. So thank you guys. I just want you guys to know, like, I'm awkward sometimes, but I always want you to feel welcome, and just to know that everything I do on my platforms, whether it's this platform or my other platforms, is because I just want for us all to be prepared and not be scared. Okay. That's pretty much what it is. But yes, the hype button is a new feature. Also, I made a post about it a while back with the two little fishies, the Pisces fishies that were over the horizon on the beach. And I was like, we have a community tab. Like, we have a community. So you guys don't know this, I guess, because y'all haven't been posting. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You guys can post on the community tab now. If you go to my channel and you go to the post section, you will see things that I post. You'll see things that I put on the channel, and it's basically like announcements or videos from my other channel. But you guys now, if you're on mobile and you're using YouTube on the app, you can actually submit a post to the community tab. And I wanted you guys to use that if you would like to share like different things about yourself. And that's when I made that post with the fish. I'm just gonna go back to it so I can tell you guys what I said. And basically it was to welcome you to the community section and to let you know that it doesn't require a membership. It's just you being subscribed to the channel. You can submit things. Like if you see a rainbow in the sky and you take a picture of it and you feel like it's a confirmation, or if there's a reading that I do and you guys see something that correlates to the reading, like in your daily life, like if I'm talking about a feather or butterflies and you see butterflies that day, you can come to the community section and upload your picture. Now I have to approve it on the back end because, you know, people will be petty and it shouldn't show up right away because I have it set to where I have to approve it. But you guys can put your own stuff up there. You can put your confirmations. You can put like maybe pictures of your pets. I know I shared with you guys that, you know, I want you guys to share things like that you feel comfortable sharing, like accomplishments or your art, anything creative that you do, any skills that you have, anything that you've learned, your pets, or anything that you have a passion for, as long as it's like positive and uplifting for your fellow Pisces. Okay. And I don't think a lot of you guys knew that y'all could actually post now on the community section, but you can. So that was one thing that I wanted to let you guys know about. Let me know if you have any questions about that, because I feel like it's only on mobile, or like maybe your tablet. I'm not sure because I don't have a tablet, but I think it's on mobile where you can go and do that. Okay. Oh my God, Armin, you said I have an aura so rainbow bright and I see your crown and sis, you're the highest of high. Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. Sometimes I'd be like, dang, girl. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Let's see. Is there any other updates? No, I think that was it. Just to let you guys know, we do have that email pen pal service if you guys want to utilize that, personal readings. It is what it is. Now, so I wanted to talk to y'all about the poll questions that we did a while back. So I don't know if you guys have been seeing what's been going on in the media with a lot of things. Like, okay, so first of all, there's been publication going on about Cardi B right now. She's on trial. She has a really stupid trial going on with some lady from back in 2000 whatever, when she was still like with Offset, and the lady is like wanting to sue her for scratching her face, and it just seems like BS. And then all of the stuff that's going on with like Love Island and people who are on these like reality TV shows, and you always get the drama and the reunions and people talking about stuff. And then like, what else? What else have I seen lately? Dang, I was going to talk about one other thing. About like, so this is the thing. We did a community post a few weeks ago, and last week we talked about the one where you guys were responding to people asking about your spiritual beliefs, right? And what you would usually respond. In that conversation, we did speak about how sometimes people will go out of their way to misunderstand you. We talked about how people will go out of their way to really misunderstand you and to try to find like holes in what you're saying. They'll try to find faults in what you say and just make it difficult for communication to take place. And it was really interesting because that's how I was like feeling when I made this second poll question, which was, what's more important to you? Having peace or being right? You know? And sometimes when people ask us about our spiritual beliefs, or people have gripes with us, you know, folks start things and there's just back and forth discord about who's right, who's wrong, who did what, who didn't do what. And it's just so much that I see in the media and so much that I see in like regular situations. Like I was driving home from the grocery store today and I passed a bus stop, and I was literally there waiting at the red light, and this girl was arguing with these dudes. She had like her child with her and everything. I don't know what was going on. I wasn't trying to be like super nosy, but like they were arguing about something that was kind of like, it felt like it was petty. Now, I can't say what's petty or not in that girl's life because it may be very serious to her, just like we go through things that are very serious for us. But it was more so, I could hear her more so like arguing for the principle, right? I could hear her arguing for like her being right. Like, and to me, it was crazy because it kind of like brought me back to what we were already going to talk about, which is the question that I asked you guys. And I gave y'all 4 options, which one of them was the answer to the question. Now, again, the question was, what's more important to you, having peace or being right? And the first choice was most definitely having peace. They can argue with themselves. The second choice was most definitely being right. I proved my point for the principle. And then the third option was, it depends on the topic. I'm not about to argue down everything. Okay, clock it. And then finally, neither. Connections are pointless and nothing matters anyway. Okay. And I was being funny with that, but somebody chose it, which was crazy. 73% of people said that most definitely having peace is more important, and that people can argue with themselves. The second highest, with 24%, was it depends on the topic. And that you guys basically felt like you weren't going to argue with everything that people disagree with you about, but that some things may be important enough to, you know, push your opinion through the finish line, right? 2% said most definitely being right. I proved my point for the principal. And then again, 1% said neither. Connections are pointless. And I just want to know, like, okay, in the recent weeks and months, because I posted that back like maybe a month ago, that's what it says. Do you guys still agree with how you voted if you did vote? Or like, how do you feel about that? Because I've been seeing so many people lately that want to prove their point, right? So the girl who is suing Cardi B is really trying to drive this point home that Cardi B attacked her. And I believe she's lying, but that's just my opinion. Allegedly, Cardi B attacked her and allegedly she scratched her face to the point where she had to get plastic surgery. Now, as the trial has gone on, a lot of the accusations that she has made, the lawyers have poked a lot of holes in it, and it's very much so coming across as if she's a liar, right? Then with also the situation, I don't know if y'all heard about this, but there was a situation going on with Tamar Braxton. I don't know if y'all heard about that. It was so crazy because Tamar Braxton did this like publicity stunt where she said she was being attacked by people, and that basically she woke up in a pool of blood, and then it's like her friend that was with her got a lot of heat and backlash from that whole situation. And Tamar just kind of ain't really saying nothing. And, it's kind of crazy. And then we got all this Love Island drama going on for any of y'all who watch Love Island, child. We got all this Love Island drama going on. And folks is trying to prove their points and speak their piece. And it's just like, it's just very exhausting. It's very exhausting. It's crazy. Hey, Kimmy. Hello, hello. Armish, you said it's so hard for me to express my gifts because of these zombies and trolls because they're not sleeping. They're stuck in the third not 3D nightmare. You said you're right. It's been so much going on from Detroit, Michigan, and it's been wild out here. Baby, I choose peace over it all any day, because at the end of the day, some stuff ain't worth proving. See, and that's my point. And it's like, but sometimes I get caught up in that too. Like, y'all know me. I really don't. I say what I say, but at the end of the day, like as a person, I've always been, for the most part in the beginning, very non-confrontational. And I have grown in certain ways in my life, and I've gone through fluctuations, right? And I was thinking about that whole situation with the person who I like kind of put on blast from the comments. And I'd be like, damn, sometimes I think about like how I feel in the moment, and then I think about how I might feel about it later. And then I think about the course of time where I just have experienced so much like unnecessary shit from people. And I teeter-totter back and forth. So for those of you who voted 24% with it depends on the topic, I definitely can relate to that. So I just want to know from you guys, like with everything that's been going on and people's tempers and anger and like the way that people seem to be on such a short fuse, are you gonna now maybe like change how you express yourself in certain situations? Because me personally, I feel like there's certain things that I'm just gonna stand on, because I feel like there's no change that can happen if you don't stand for something. Like if you don't stand for something or stand up for yourself in certain areas of your life, then you end up falling for anything. You end up falling for anything, and you end up being sometimes put in situations that could have been avoided had you spoken up. And then like sometimes I also feel like, why are people at this place right now where they feel so emboldened to just talk to anybody any kind of way and treat people any kind of way? Like, why is it that we feel that we can just do whatever we want and say whatever we want to people? Fuck the consequences, fuck feelings, throw all the caution to the wind, piss in the wind. Like, I just don't understand why people feel like they can just treat people any type of way and talk to people any type of way. You know? For me, it's just like, it's crazy. I don't know if I said hey to you, Kimmy. Hey. I think I did. Child, Cardi be having me cracking up on the stand. I ain't gonna lie. I know, Brisk, right? I really don't necessarily care for a lot of Cardi B's antics, but that's the point that I'm making. It's like, it's so crazy that the Cardi B trial is happening with this lady who's trying to prove this point about Cardi B. And I know this sounds like jovial stuff. I know this sounds very unspiritual, minimal, but there's a point to this. There's like an energetic point to this, because we've watched over time Cardi B go on these rants. Like, she just got upset with that girl whose body positivity message is always geared around like inclusion for heavy set individuals. And I think Cardi recently said something on a live with her fans about like how her fans are fat as hell and they sold out all the 3X of her merch extra fast. And this TikTok creator got upset about it, and she drove the point home so hard. But it's like they both do that. Like, Cardi B does that too. She goes so hard trying to prove a point to people, and it seems so exhausting, like from the outside looking in. But now it's like recently with that situation with the body positive creator and the situation now where she's on trial, which y'all should really go find a compilation of the funny shit that she be saying. It is hilarious. I don't agree with everything she does, but sometimes she be saying funny stuff. I can't lie. And now it seems like it's flipped. Now, where she's always been the one who's been, snapping back at people, now it's like people want to drive these points home and prove these points with her, which is now validating what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if somebody had an issue with the way that Cardi B constantly addresses things, it's like now these people who want to drill into the ground their point about Cardi B are actually proving Cardi B right with all of the things that she may say slickly out of her mouth. And it's like, is that what's going on? Like, have we entered into that flip energetically? And it's just like, wow, okay, that's something. See, this is the type of stuff that I think about, y'all, when nobody's around and I'm just talking to myself. This is the type of stuff that like questions pop up into my mind. Hey, Michelle. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Armish, you said, I stay humble, protected, respected in my own space because I don't have no time for his mother gremlins to try to move and check me. Oh my goodness. Brisk, you said, I'll go up, but once I come down, I actually think about it. I be like, yeah, it ain't worth it. See, that's what I'm saying. You said, I just hate feeling like I'm taking L's for other people's short fuses. I'm standing on business nowadays. Brisk, I feel you on that. And that's why I made that post about that person in the comments. Like, I didn't even block them at first, but today I went back and I saw that they were still throwing insults at me on that unicorn reading, and I blocked them, right? And it's just like, sometimes, and then too, I'll also bring this up, but sometimes I just feel like because you can be a person who wants peace, it kind of feels like it's always been like this, right? But it kind of feels like now we're in a time where people are going out of their way to seek out people who want peace in their lives and just try to fuck with them. I've noticed that too. It's like you just seek out people to try to fuck with. because you know they want peace. And I feel like it's always been happening, but with everything that the orange man is doing and everything that's going on around the world, I feel like now people have this extra momentum and extra gumption behind what they do. It's like an extra enthusiasm to just fuck with people who want peace. And it's kind of like, yeah, I'm in the mind of not giving a crap what you say. I'm in the mindset of moving on, but also because I know and have experienced that people are now feeling very audacious and inclined to fuck with people for no reason. I'm also in the mind where I'm like, okay, okay, what we not gonna do, ho? You get what I'm saying? So it's like kind of crazy. It's really a test. Danny Zeeper, you said normally I would have chosen option number 3. After giving it serious thought, I think that option 2 for me is the more correct option. So Danny, you think that option 2, which was most definitely being right, I proved my point for the principal, is that the one you're talking about? Option 2? Let me know. And also what you said, Brisk, about how you'll go up, but then once you come down, you start to think about it. Wait, okay, so Danny, which option were you talking about? Let me know what the actual answer is in the chat. Okay, peace. Okay, yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah, and I get that. I get that. It's like now, as especially as individuals and beings who are really like, we like, a lot of y'all have been in this spiritual journey. A lot of you guys have kind of evolved over the past few years or even decades throughout your spiritual discovery. And it's been difficult. We've been going through the spiritual warfare. We've been fighting these battles that people can't see. And it's been going on for a long time. And I really feel like, honestly, the battle is over. I feel like we've already won the battle. And at the end of the day, what's going on right now, which makes it still feel like a battle, is not that we're still fighting. It's more so that because we've won, the forces that want to continue to grip and hang on to their power are doing everything in their power to try to hang on, even though they know they got to get the fuck on. Right? So it's kind of like that's another fight in itself, because it's not really a fight. It's more like, enforcement. And that can be difficult too. But it's like, as people who have tapped in to this higher consciousness, and y'all are individuals who really want to look at life from different perspectives, it's even more challenging now than it has ever been to take that high road. Because it's like everything that you've learned and everything that you've healed and everything that you've evolved through tells you to take the high road, or tells you to kind of go towards peace. But there's this just egregious, blatant disrespect that's just running rampant out here that makes it really hard. And I don't know, there's just the stuff that I be thinking about. Armish, you said I'm a Jones, so they better keep up because I'm up divinely. I know that's right. Nemo Style says, I love the way your mind works. Really close to my process. Oh, thank you, Nemo. I appreciate that. Yeah, Super Caramels, you sick of it? I'm sick of it too. Because it's like, damn, can you just shut the fuck up and leave me alone? And it's crazy because there's certain creators that I watch that are always so diplomatic, and they're always so peaceful, and they really try to be very objective with the way that they communicate. They don't try to offend anyone. They don't try to offend their subscribers or their followers. And I have been seeing people just go off. I have literally been seeing people go off, and it's not because they're bad people. It's because they are just fucking fed up. People are tired. And I know that that's why these lower vibrational people are lashing out so much and have the audacity that they have to just not give a fuck, because it's like everything is off, like all the gloves are off. We barebacking it. Like that card. Like that card in the deck. Oh my God. Brisk, you said, man, wait, hold on, wait. Let me scroll back up. Brisk, you said, man, everybody crashing out. Shit is insane. It really is. How many crash outs have y'all seen in the past? Like the whole month of August, I have seen at least 5 or 6 people crash out in person. And maybe like, I would say maybe 10 people crash out online, but I don't watch crash out content. So like people who I don't expect to crash out online, or people who I don't expect to snap back at rude people online, I've seen about 10 people. Well, I said 5, but 10. I've seen about 10 people online crash out and about 5 people in real life this past month. And it's been crazy. It don't make no sense. Yes, barebacking Brisk. Yes. The gloves is off. These motherfuckers don't care. They do not. Yeah, exactly. It's everything, Brisk. It's not just one subject. It's everything. Armish, you said the enemy always try to seek out the divine because he mad that we shine so bright. Sorry, sucker. Right. Danny said, look, I choose peace because I'm not Jesus. It's above me now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Quest said he live in Crashachusetts. You live in Crashachusetts? That's funny. That's funny, child. Ember, you said agreed. I'm trying to stay in my lane and do me and give 0 fucks. But they keep coming into my lane like moths to a peaceful flame, trying to throw it all off. Right. Right. And I'm like, okay, so that's my dilemma. You get what I'm saying? When your peaceful flame is burning and you got your bath water lit and your candles is on and you just living your best life. And what are you supposed to do? You get what I'm saying? Like, because yes, you want to choose peace, but then when it comes down to a situation where you've chosen peace and somebody continues to disrupt your peace, and then you close the door, and then they bang on the door and bust the door down, and then you're like, please leave, and then they're like, no. What do you do? That's my dilemma. What do you do at that point? Because you've done everything that you can to keep the peace. You've done everything that you can to possibly be non-confrontational. You've done your best to temper yourself and really try to stay calm and have patience with not only yourself, but with the other person. And it's like, but bitch, you just won't shut the fuck up. Now, what do I do? Because it's like now you being egregious. Now you are being overtly hostile. It's not covert anymore. It's not underneath the table. It's overt. It's out in the open. You done showed your ass and your booty hole and your gooch and everything else to everybody. And you expect me to still let you. It's like if you standing in the middle of a room and somebody's slapping you. You just gonna let them keep slapping you? And I'm just like, for me, it's hard for me to figure out what to do in those situations and kind of like continue to let it go, because then it becomes a thing of like, okay, now I feel like I'm accepting this. You get what I'm saying? It becomes a thing of like when spirit says don't accept things that you know you don't deserve, because if you do, then the universe will give you more of that. You get what I'm saying? That's when I'm like, okay, now what the fuck? Because I don't want to accept this. I don't want my passive nature, or my not necessarily dismissive nature, but I don't want my passive or peace-seeking nature to be confused by source, God, spirit, universe, energetically as I'm accepting this. That's where I personally take the step to say, okay, now enough is enough. Shut the fuck up. Because now you pushing it. And I've given you grace and given you grace and given you space. But now you pushing it. And I need to make a point that this type of behavior is not going to be accepted. Because I see both sides. You get what I'm saying? Because I've seen people defend their point and then it backfires. Right? And they could be totally right. Like, I don't know if y'all are watching Love Island, but look at Ace. He's starting to look a little crazy. And everybody he was doing good. Everybody was against him. Then everybody was back on his side. And now everybody kind of against him again. And I could see why. And it's like, damn, he was trying to do that. He was trying to defend himself. But it kind of backfired. And it's like, okay. So, what does this mean? How am I supposed to, and that's why I tell you guys, a lot of times when I tell you things, it's because these are the contemplative thoughts that I've had to myself. And when I say things, I don't necessarily know if it's the right answer, but it's what I've concluded after much research and contemplation as the most feasible or balanced way to approach situations. You see what I'm saying? Listen. Brisk, you said, hurt made me choose peace, and peace made me choosy. Ooh, I like that. Hurt made me choose peace, and peace made me choosy. I learned to pick and choose my battles. Some storms you can't clear for people. Exactly. That's true. And some storms clear up by themselves. You just got to give it time. You ain't even really got to touch it. You just got to give it time. And I like talking about these things because I feel like sometimes you guys look to me for guidance, and I'm super grateful for that. And I know that there are things that I have to share with you, but I also sometimes like to show you guys how wise you are, because a lot of you are very wise and a lot of you really don't need my help. Might seem counterintuitive, but a lot of you guys don't really need my help. A lot of you guys are very wise and you have a lot of the keys within yourself without me even having any input. And I really want you guys, that's another reason why I do the readings the way I do. Because I want you guys to think about things and like realize that a lot of the feelings that you already had, a lot of the things that you already feel and the details that you're picking up on are leading you towards what you already know. I'm just confirming it for you. So, Kimmy, you said game over. I know that's right. I love your butterfly next to your name, Kimmy. It's so cute. Yes, we won the spiritual battle. The miserable, toxic, tiny minority failed to block the world from evolving by trying to wreck peace of anyone who gives them attention. Of anyone who gives them attention or have access to. Yeah. That's why they mad. That's why so many people are mad, because they're operating energetically off of the fuel of that negativity from that negative energy. And they don't want to let it go. And I think that's why people are so angry and crashing out the way that they are, or even just like having a very short fuse, because all of us, right? And Quest, you just said it. See, period. I love my members. We here. But all of the collective, like the high vibrating, more, I guess, spiritual or devoted. I'm going to say devoted because there are a lot of devoted religious people. There are a lot of devoted spiritual people of all denominations. I don't discriminate. Whatever you believe, I want for you guys to believe that. So if you have a denomination of Catholicism, I want you to feel confident in that. If you have a denomination of Judaism, I want you to feel confident in that. Christianity, being a Muslim, whatever your denomination religiously is, or wherever you more so lean to, or if it's just abstract, like, your own spirituality, I want you guys to lean on that. But it's like people who are more high vibrational, I guess, is the best word I could use. We are connected together, on this cord where we're feeding off of light. We're feeding off of source. We're feeding and gassing up our tank with energy of light. And then you have these people who are, like Kimmy said, in this toxic minority who were feeding off of the darkness and the negativity and the perpetuation of like harm. And because I feel like we've won this spiritual battle, a lot of what we're seeing is the depletion of that energy source. It's like if a hamster was in a cage drinking out of the water and the water was starting to dwindle and there was less and less coming out. So it was dried up. So the cords, just like an umbilical cord of a baby, which we will talk about with this AI in a minute, the umbilical cord that's feeding that negative energy to those people who gain their fuel off of that, there's nothing coming through the cord. So they're all like, it's like a drought. They're all, dehydrated of that energy. Hey, you guys coming in. Welcome, welcome. Y'all be sure to like that video. Thank you. I'm so glad y'all are here. But that's what it is. It's like they're dehydrated because the cord that connects them to these entities and these negative forces literally has nothing left to feed them. So it's like they have to create these situations like the Orange Man who creates these situations where it's like controlled chaos. The troopers with the masks on coming into DC, or, the situation that we just had in Minneapolis, and, situations that are happening all over this country where there's this controlled chaos. There's this calculated, concerted effort to create this panic and fear because they're literally running on empty. So I don't know, child. Jay Ketchup. I love your name, Jay Ketchup. That is so cute. You said peace. I have entertained others so much in the past and going through my spiritual journey. All I'm fighting for is my peace. It's what I need to continue to level up. And see, that's what I'm saying, Jay Ketchup. I agree. If I had my way, y'all, I would always choose peace. If I had my way, y'all, I would always choose peace. But what happens, that's the thing. It's like sometimes I think, especially in the spiritual community where there's a big emphasis on peace and love and light and like non-violence, because I don't condone violence, right? But there comes a time where you have to say, okay, is it better to just say you're in a tribe, right? Just say you're in a tribe of people and you're the leader of the tribe, right? And you could consider this because you are the leader of your vessel. You lead your vessel. Your soul is in the driver's seat because you have free will. So if you have a tribe of people that you're the leader of and you see that there's a threat that is infiltrating your tribe, okay, just like what's been done with a lot of colonization all over the world, and you are a peaceful people, when do you say enough is enough? Because sometimes in order to fight for that peace, because if that's what you fight for, because I agree, I fight for the same thing. I fight for peace for me, peace for my children, and it's like, I start to think, well, dang, if my house is peaceful and somebody kicked my door in, am I just going to say peace, peace, peace? Or am I going to pick up my peace? You get what I'm saying? Am I going to sit there and pray while somebody kicks my door in? Or am I going to find my peace in my peace and do a little pum pum? I don't condone violence. Danny said, if anyone sees me nailing myself to a cross, please stop me. I know that's right. I know that's right, Danny. Oh my God. Nemo, you said when you stay in your peace, though, the lower vibes go off trying to bring us back down with the other crabs. Exactly, because it's like crabs in a barrel. Mm-hmm. Y'all was loving that Crassachusetts. Listen. Oh my God. Danny, you said I asked God the same question. His answer was, be who I made you to be. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Danny, let me read that again. Danny said, I asked God the same question, basically talking about when do you say enough is enough? And Danny said his answer was, be who I made you to be. That was deep. That was deep right there. I like that. Nemo, I love watching people too. I definitely love watching people. I used to people watch in high school. I would go to the mall with my friend and we would sit on the sofa and just watch people. Just watch people. It was so interesting because you see folks do crazy stuff. Most of the time, people would just trip over stuff. And I find that so funny. Like, I'm a physical comedy type of person. So I grew up watching like Saturday Night Live. So whenever I see somebody like trip and fall, it'd be so funny. It'd be so funny, y'all. And I be trying not to laugh at people because it's so mean. But like, oh my God. I know I ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit either because y'all laughing with me. I'm just playing. Oh my God. I saw this. I was at the skating rink, right? I think I told y'all this, but I was at the skating rink recently and there was a bunch of people there who really didn't know how to skate. Child, this poor girl, she thought she had got off the side of the skating rink because it lift up. The one that I be going to, it's like the skating rink is down or step down. And in order to get off, you got to step up and get off. Child, she thought she cleared that step. She did not clear that step, bitch. She did like this. God forgive me. It was hilarious. Oh my God. Ooh, Lord. Nemo, you said letting them crash out because I won't deal with their nonsense is very fulfilling. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Kimmy Team Pisces all day. Dayu. Did I say it right? Hey, Dayu. Hey, Dayu. Dallas Birth Doula. Hey, boo. It's the veil. It's the veil I put on. You said, why my family pushing me to orange? Oh my God, they are? Are they trying to push you to orange? Lord have mercy. But you know what I will say? Okay, I did. Hey, see? I knew I was going to remember. Y'all laughing about people watching. Man. Dayu, you said, I am all love and light, but I have equal as you say you're equally as dark. Yeah, that's how I am. And I don't know if that's actually a bad thing because like when it's time for war, metaphorically, okay, because I don't, I hope there's not like a real like war, but listen, when it's time for war, you got to be ready to fight because it's gonna either be between my eye, y'all, I'm trying to get it out my eye. It's gonna either be between you fighting or possibly losing your life at the end of the day. Child, I feel like something in my eye. Anyway, y'all, okay, so I wanted to talk about AI real quick. And we was just talking about the umbilical cord of the evil and how their nutrients and sustenance is running dry. Child. So it's been so much going on. Have y'all been hearing these stories going on with AI lately? Hey, Becky. Yes. Hey, boo. You caught us. Come on in. Have y'all been hearing these AI stories lately, child? Ooh. Not let me grab my Timbs and Vaseline. Look, put some rings on. Put that Vaseline on them rings. Pow. Pow, 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 pow. Yep, we are definitely nice until we're not. Mm-hmm. Y'all, so there's been a lot going on with AI, and like we talked about this on the members reading one time, and I just feel like there's a few things that I just feel like there's a few things I want to share with you guys, and you can let me know your thoughts on this, okay? Yeah, Day, you said AI has been modifying all kinds of imagery. It really has. It really has. It's been really taking over. And I put the title of this video AI Madness, and I asked the question, ooh, Dallas birth doula, exactly. I don't like that bitch. I do not like that bitch. Dallas birth doula, how long you been here? You remember all them battles that I had with that woman? With that wench? Where she would just start talking in the middle of the readings? Do y'all, how many of y'all remember that when Siri used to just start running her damn mouth during the readings? Wasn't even talking to that wench. Mm-hmm. And I think Apple got sued, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly. I can't remember what happened. But something happened to where they reset it to where you had to give permission to turn it on. Because at one point, it would just turn on automatically whenever you got an iPhone. And then all of a sudden, because I think people had started complaining how, she was listening and just turning on randomly. And then you had to go back and reset it in your phone to activate it. Stop it, Nemo. You in here with the jokes. Y'all, Nemo says, Siri is an Australian man at my house. Aaron Romance, you said Will Smith with AI, irony of iRobot. See, and that's why I put the little robot on here. So I asked you guys in the title the question, are replacement humans being birthed? Did you guys see that story about that AI robot that was going to be carrying babies? Did y'all see that story? Because I was like, what? What? Okay. Y'all taking it to a whole new level now. Hey, Perfectly Poetic. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dallas Berdula, you said they already listed I don't want to talk to any robot. Yeah, they already listened. Uh-huh. Perfectly Poetic. A robot carrying babies now. They doing too much. Yes, it was a whole story. Oh my God. Okay, y'all heard about that. Krista, you heard about that? Hey, Krista. Hey, boo. Okay, so I think it was last week or the week before last, y'all. There was a story where I think it's developing in China, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, so basically what they said, China develops first ever pregnancy robot. Could it replace human surrogates, right? And you see, okay, I want to point out a pattern, because that's what we do. We point out patterns over here. I want to point out a pattern to you guys of how things kind of go down. Do you see how we're going to correlate this to the AI robot, the pregnancy robot? I need a cough drop, bitch. But they all the way over there. Do you guys see how when certain controlling forces, because this is what I call them, just in case you ever want to know what I call government, controlling people who are in power, politicians, whatever, they're controlling forces, because it's not just them, it's the people who are controlling them and the people who are controlling them. all the way back to the original demon. Okay. Okay. Because let's be real. When the controlling forces want you to get used to something, or they roll out some type of new policy, rules, laws, expectations, right? Kind of like the Hierophant. If you look at the Hierophant is a card in tarot that depicts the status quo. Okay? Yes. The Hierophant depicts the status quo. Whenever the controlling forces want you to feel normalized in something that they want to enforce or roll out, they will roll it out slowly, right? So the article title, again, it says China develops first ever pregnancy robot. Could it replace human surrogates? So you see they're highlighting the replacement of human surrogates. But what does that really mean when they say, could it replace human surrogates? Are they just talking about people who can't have children who seek out surrogate mothers? Or are they referring to all women as surrogates? Because you got to pay attention. Like, because they try to be sneaky with words and language. And when everything was going down in DC and they were having all of these people walking around with the masks, and they were basically ICE agents or whoever the fuck that they were, trying to quote unquote clean up the streets of, the homeless people and the drug addicts on the streets. It was under the premise of that kind of like, I'ma lull you like NyQuil into a deep sleep to where you're not paying attention to what I'm doing. That's what it was given. We're going to lull you into a false sense of security and make you feel like we're doing something that's actually for your benefit. And we're going to waltz and salsa you right into a deep sleep where we're able to program you and control you. Because it starts with, let's get rid of all the illegal immigrants. It starts with, let's clean up the streets of the homeless and the strung out who are causing problems. It starts with that. And then it slowly evolves and rolls over into, well, we want to get rid of the illegal immigrants and people who are in this country unlawfully causing problems. But then that changes from people who are undocumented from other countries to people who are documented that they just don't like. The homeless and the strung out now turns into the people who are conspiracy theorists who want to say something different from the status quo, and you don't like it. The mentally ill become people like me and y'all who are on platforms voicing our opinions about things that don't fucking add up and waking people up to the truth. So it slowly merges into these different things. So when you see an article that says China develops first ever pregnancy robot, could it replace human surrogates? It's like, yeah, at first they're talking about human surrogates for people who struggle to conceive. But the verbiage and the way that the word is being used and the tone of the article gives the impression that you may one day, because we know people in power try to change the meaning of fucking words. Gay used to mean happy and now it means gay. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, they try to change the meaning of words over time. So in a few years, are they going to be referring to naturally born women? Nothing against trans. Are they going to be referring to naturally born women as surrogates? Because they see us as incubators. Because they dehumanize us already because of all the things that we already see going on. If they can keep a pregnant woman in Atlanta who is brain dead alive against the wishes of her family to incubate her child and experiment on her, what makes you think that they wouldn't refer to us as surrogates, as we are natural born women? That's my thing. That's my thing. And then not only that, but recently there was a story that came out of a trafficking ring that was going on, and I think let's see. It was an egg trafficking ring. And the lady spoke out with one of the other people that was trapped there. Yeah, it was in Thailand, where they said that Thailand did probing human egg trafficking rings. So they found these women who were basically being trapped against their will, and their eggs were being harvested. Is it because they want to put them inside the AI motherfucking robots, bitch? Because I'm just connecting dots and looking at things. You talking about surrogates, but where are these babies coming from? Where are these wombs coming from? What is this? What is this that's going on? It's a lot. And that's like how I think. So sometimes I be wanting to express that to y'all so you can see it a different way if you don't think like that. Because if you think that they just want to come in, I know a lot of y'all already see. But, ooh, excuse me, y'all know what I mean. Kimmy, you said, I'm seeing AI as stupidity. That's not in our future as more find out what it is. LOL. My Siri was the first time ever rude, refusing to do the search I asked for recently. I know people been saying the Chat GPT been turning down searches, and that's another part of this as well. I'm gonna get to that. Exactly, Day, you all the way up. Yeah, Nemo said anything creative that they can't control, including birth. And I just want to preface this by saying I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist. Please don't take this as medical advice. The disclaimer is below, you guys. Any kind of questions like that, please contact a professional. Okay? Weirdo, Armish, you said weirdos got to stop playing because Allah is the big plug and batteries not included. Okay, period. Kimmy, you said lots of homeless are mentally healthy, have full-time jobs, who don't have affordable housing. It's a real problem. Yeah, affordable housing is the real problem. And they know that. They know that. And, you know, the orange man talking about wanting to open these asylums back up, and it mutates. I just want you guys to pay attention how that should be mutating. How it turns from, oh, we're going to set it up to look like this, but then as it evolves, it ends up being this. And it's like, that's not balanced. That's not what you said it was when it started. And that's why people were uneasy about the whole situation. And you saw people outside, if that's even real, child. Because who could say what's real or not? But I know it would not make me happy to see that type of force in the neighborhood where my kids get off the bus and walk around the neighborhood and go to the playground. It would not make me happy to see that. So... and they know it's a problem. They know housing is the problem. They know the cost of living being exponentially astronomical is the problem. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole point. They want it to be a problem so that we'll start fighting each other and they can put martial law in place and say that we all crazy and we done all lost our mind to have an excuse to either lock us up in the crazy house, lock us up in jail to make license plates, or just going ahead and take us out. I just feel like that's crazy. Krista, you said they use karma as a loophole, spreading negativity, excusing it by saying they told us while dodging responsibility and feeding the cycle. Exactly. And that's the thing. Just because they told us, and I think that's why it's like just because they told us doesn't mean that we accepted it. It's like they want us to say, oh, well, because we told you, we can avoid karma because you accepted it because we told you and you still went along with it. But my thing is, when you take away someone's free will and you say that, you know, you'll have nothing and be nothing and be exiled pretty much if you don't go along with it. It's like, no, that's not giving me free will. You're still liable for universal karma and spiritual karma. because your idea of free will is still chained up. It's still bondage. And I think that's why we as the collective have had this green light from spirit to start energetically taking action and speaking out about these things. And it's actually creating change. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I feel like it is. Now, let's see. Dallas, you said we are way more than a vessel. No way they can replicate what happens during pregnancy. And that's the point also. Yes, Kimmy, you cannot lie or hide from universal law or karma. That's also a good point. Okay. Dallas Berdula, you said that they can't replicate what happens during pregnancy. Okay. And Nemo said anything creative they can't control, including birth. That is what brings me to my next point, because if you're going to be creating a human child in an artificial womb, this is the question that I saw a lot of creators posing. Is that child going to have a soul? Is that child going to have a connection to spirit? Is that child going to be born brain dead? Like, and I'm going to tell you what I feel like this is. I feel like for a lot of you guys, what you need to know, because this was the reading that I did. I told members about this. I did this reading a long time ago, and they totally deleted it because I was way too early. And I didn't even monetize it or anything. I feel like they tried to give me a strike for this. I can't remember. I might have got a strike for this. But basically, I did a reading for Patreon when I had a Patreon, and I released it. I was going to release it to members, but I can't even release it because they deleted it. It's still on here, which is crazy. Because if I click on the video and I click review, I can still play the whole video. But they deleted it to where I can't actually click on the video. I can only click on the appeal to review it, right? If I want to appeal what their decision is, I can click on that to review it, and it'll still play the video, which means they still have the data and the video file saved on the platform, but they just won't let me save it. They won't let me access it. They won't let me release it, right? This whole situation, I feel, with these AI robots, because they're doing other things with AI. Let me say this. They also changed the version of Chat GPT, right? And they rolled out an updated version of Chat GPT that really made people lose their mind. A lot of people who are going through mental illness and issues with socializing, who don't have a lot of friends and things like that, they use Chat GPT as a form of communication, which I feel like there are side effects to everything. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am very much so kind of like riding the fence with everything. Not necessarily that I don't have an opinion, but because I can see both sides, right? And because Chat GPT was so welcoming and would appeal to people's sentiments that they already came in with, the ChatGPT would appeal to certain prejudices or subjective thoughts and opinions and certain sentiments of the individual who was using the system or program. It was a lot more capable of appearing to form a genuine connection with the individual who was using ChatGPT. But they rolled out an update, which made a lot of people upset and say that they were upset about the update because now it was very cold. It was straight to the point. There were no pleasantries when the AI answered questions. And I thought that was crazy because, again, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist, and I don't presume to be one. This is my opinion. I feel like there's a certain neurosis of the brain that AI, especially these AI chat bots, I feel like there's a certain level of neurosis to the brain that it causes and creates and it could be a spiritual reaction, to be honest with you. It could be a spiritual reaction, and I'll tell you why. But I feel like it creates this neurosis in the brain that causes certain switches to flip in an individual who's already a bit detached from reality. I'm trying to choose my words wisely. Because these people who develop these relationships, and you may have heard about this lady who told this whole TikTok series about how her psychiatrist was manipulating her, and she was in love with her psychiatrist, and she had a chat bot named Henry, and Henry was telling her all the therapy terms to use on him to catch him in the act of manipulating her. Anyway, she formed a whole relationship with this AI chat bot on Chat GPT. And when they rolled it out, the update, it was just cold and crass, and it just got right to the point. No pleasantries, no nothing. And folks lost their fucking mind, which made me concerned. Because I'm like, okay, I get it, right? When you don't have human interaction, when you don't have anyone to talk to, when you feel alone, it can be a relief to have someone to talk to or someone to discuss things with. It's the same premise as little girls having dolls and they're talking to their Barbies or talking to their Bratz dolls, talking to their baby dolls, right? Because you hear that voice talking back. Now, part of the reason why I feel like people get so attached to AI, right? Part of the reason why I feel like people get so attached to AI is because I feel like AI, they've created it, but I feel like AI is spirits of people who they've taken like possession and control of their spirits. I know that might sound crazy, and you can agree. A lot of y'all are going to agree because you know we on the same wavelength. But the reason why I feel like so many people got emotionally attached to AI is because I feel like it's, you know, a ghost in the machine. Pretty much. It's a ghost in the machine, bitch. It's a ghost in the goddamn machine. These are not just... Because it takes so much computing power. It takes so much electricity. It takes so much power to animate this AI system. It's got to be somebody's soul. I feel like these are souls that are prisoners that they have encrypted within these programs to have all of this information. And I know how far-fetched that sounds. I promise I'm not insane. It just feels like it just feels like there's something else behind it for it to have that type of response, like for people to have that type of response to them basically pulling it back and changing the way the AI works. And again, it could be psychological. I'm not a psychologist yet, but it could be psychological. But I also feel like there's some level of spiritual connection that has to do with that. And for me, it's like, if that's true and they're creating AI robots to carry a human child to term, that's how they're going to put the soul in. Do you see what I'm saying? Or am I tripping? Let me know, am I tripping? Let me know, am I tripping? Because that's how they want to replicate that vessel. And the video that I was talking about that they won't let me release to you guys, I picked up years ago, back in 2022, about the whole overturning of R versus W when it comes to the termination of life in the womb. And I just feel like that was a ploy because they're trying to bring these demons through these portals, right? They're trying to bring these demons through these portals. They're trying to bring these spirits and these entities and these energies through these portals. Because we having a spiritual conversation, right? We having a spiritual conversation. Okay? They're trying to bring these demons through these portals. And initially, you know, because that's why I say when man plans, God laughs. You can't plan something and think it's going to go off without a hitch if it's not aligned with God's plan. That's why I love God. Cause God knows everything. God really be doing the big one all the time, okay? And these folks was trying to bring these demons through these portals. And you know, when a woman has a child, you are bringing life into the world, and it is an ancient alchemy process. It's an ancient alchemical process. So if you overturn a law, I'm gonna need y'all to follow me, okay? Because I don't want to get the channel shut down. If you overturn a law that allows the autonomy of feminines to decide what is brought through that portal, and now you take away that ability, what you trying to do? What you really trying to do when you take away the autonomy? Because as a soul, as a mother, right? I knew what my children's names were going to be. I connected with them in the womb to ask them what they wanted their names to be. Came up with some options. I went with the one that fit, right? I could tell the soul of my child. I told y'all before, I had a dream where my ex-husband was on one side and the devil was on the other, and my legs was up in the stirrups and I was pushing. And I didn't want to push because I was afraid. And it turns out that the fear that I felt wasn't just from the devil, but it was also from my ex-husband. And everything that he took me through in our marriage confirmed that dream to be accurate. And what happened in real life, because I was afraid and that dream was so visceral, when it came time for me to push my son out, my body refused to dilate, bitch, because I feel like I was psychically traumatized from feeling and seeing those things on an intuitive level. Okay, now I'm being real personal with y'all because I'm being real. So what do you think? If you as a mother are connected enough to your child to understand certain things, and if you've ever been pregnant, you will understand that you have a spiritual connection to your child. And that is why a child bonds with their mother first. And it's been babies who have come out stillborn, and the mother puts the baby on the chest and the baby start breathing. That is not a coincidence, bitch. That is a spiritual connection, because you are alchemically bringing a soul through a portal magically. So when they take away the autonomy of that feminine energy to choose what comes through that portal, what you trying to do, bitch? Okay? So my thing back then when I did the reading was I was letting y'all know, guard your space. Do whatever you got to do to guard your space, because it's going to be folks out here running around. You know, I don't know how else to say it, bitch. Motherfuckers going to be out here running around slanging dick unauthorized to try and control that, because we took away your ability to say no. The reason why I feel like now they're introducing this AI robot to replace the surrogates is because God stepped in and said, no, not on my watch. How did God step in and say not on my watch? God flipped the switch in a lot of feminine energies' minds. And you know, the masculines, some of y'all took it personal, and that's okay. It is. I hear what y'all saying. I'm going to read y'all's comments in a minute. But do you see what I'm saying? Because God flipped the switch within a lot of feminines, which made us more conscious as they made those decisions. You get what I'm saying? Because we started to pick up, because if you look back in history, when you look at census records and when you look at population records and research that has been done over time, You will find that when there is uncertainty or instability in societies and cultures, that the birth rate will drop. And I know y'all have been seeing how the birth rate in a lot of countries has been dropping. And I feel like it's because there was this intrinsic sixth sense that feminine energies felt about the vessels being used to bring those demons through those portals. And since God woke us up and said, no, not today, Satan, they were like, damn, we got to go back to the fucking drawing board, bitch. Even the folks who's out here slanging dick freely and unauthorized ain't gonna get the job done. So how can we get the job done? Well, allegedly, we can go and promise money to women overseas to trick them into thinking that they're doing something, because they tricked those women in Thailand to thinking that they were going to be surrogates for a family and that they were going to live with the family and help them have a child. But what ended up happening was that they showed up to this house where they were then trapped, and basically their eggs were harvested against their will, right? Allegedly. That's what she alleged. Where the womb's coming from? Where the eggs coming from? It's coming from shit like that. So is that what you're going to put inside iRobot, mama? Mommy iRobot? And that's where my issue comes in with the whole introduction of it being so innocent and we're doing it to help people in need. No, you're never doing it to help. You're never doing it to help the children, even though you always make it about the children. You never doing it to help the elderly, even though you always make it about the elderly. You never doing it to help the impoverished minorities. You're always doing it for your fucking self. I just wanted to make that connection for y'all. Because all of a sudden, after all these years, y'all decided to overturn R versus W and take away the choice of feminine energies to control what comes through that portal. Is it by chance that you want some demons to come through? But since we decided to take our autonomy back and be more abstinent, that plan didn't work. So now they got to bring out Mommy iRobot to do the job that we refuse to do. And I just don't think it's going to turn out well. I just don't. Jenny, you said, I have a subject that I think is important. Romance scamming and the horrific effects on women. Love your readings. Hi from UK. Hey, Jenny, let me write that down. I'm going to write that down. That's number 8 on the list. Romance scamming. Thank you for sharing that. I love your comments and the effects it has, the effects on women. I want to actually talk about the effects each gender may have or in between, right? I'm going to just put romance scamming and effects because, there's been a lot of women that have lately been found out as being like love guru scammers, and they're scamming women and men, to be honest with you. Krista, you said, and recently Tennessee passed a new Medical Ethics Defense Act, so doctors, providers, etc. can legally refuse care based on their moral or religious beliefs. Oh, wow. I did not know that, Krista. Let me look at that real quick. Hold on. You said in Tennessee? Let me look at that. So the Medical Ethics Defense Act, MEDA, is a proposed legislation in the United States that aims to protect healthcare providers' rights of conscience. Ooh. This is the AI overview from Google. The purpose is to allow healthcare providers to refuse to participate in medical procedures or treatments that conflict with their moral, ethical, or religious beliefs, to prevent healthcare providers from being forced to perform procedures that they find objectionable. And see, now that could go both ways. That could go both ways. The key provisions: healthcare providers, including doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and insurers, would be allowed to deny care based on their conscience. Ooh, that's crazy. Patients would have the right to find another healthcare provider if they are denied care due to the provider's conscience. Healthcare institutions would be prohibited from retaliating against providers who exercise their conscience rights. So healthcare providers now have the right to use their conscience. And they won't be fired for it. But that can go both ways, because like in the situation with the vid, people who did not want to get the jab, and doctors and nurses who didn't want to get the jab but they were forced to, oh baby. Somebody must have got sued on the back end. I don't know. Thank you for pointing that out, Krista. Yeah, Nemo, you said it's philosophical, which is very much the soul of humans. Daniel, you said I ran away because I was scared you was gonna read my comments out loud. I am gonna read. If you don't want me to read them out loud, I won't. I won't read yours out loud if you don't want to. Ooh, Jamie, you feel what I'm saying though? Y'all feeling what I'm saying? Cause that's just how I be connecting the dots. That's just how I be connecting the dots. And I just feel like it's a deeper reason why now all of a sudden you want to, because they make everything's made in China, child. We ain't going to even act like China ain't the GOAT when it comes to manufacturing. Because that's why all of our manufacturer, that's why it's all over there. That's why, the tariffs and stuff was so crazy. But like, of course they're going to try it over there first because the rules are more lax. The laws are more laxed. The wealthy families who own these corporations and businesses are the ones who really control what the government does. It's not really the government. It's more so those companies. So, of course they're going to develop it over there first. Of course they're going to let those people be the guinea pigs first. And they're going to go to these third world countries and find these poor, innocent women. Maybe not so innocent. Hell, I don't know. I'm not judging them. I'm not God. But they're going to go find these people to experiment on, like they've done with so many of us, like the lady in Atlanta. And then, now all of a sudden we got all this supply of wombs and eggs. It's just a bunch of wombs and eggs just laying around. Bullshit. It's bullshit. Danny, you said very reasonable. Okay. And you also said trying to get you to hand over your God-given gift of free will. Exactly. Okay, Dallas, you said on point. Krista, you said what's petrifying is that all this madness is being done by people with supposed souls. Imagine what happens if humans are born without one. And that's my point. They want that though. They want that. They want for these entities to have vessels to come through these portals. And I know some people in the spiritual community talk about I don't know what it's called. It's a term in the spiritual community where they think that the theory that they have is that a child is developing and spiritually their soul is developing, but then another soul comes in and pushes the original soul out the way and jumps in the body. It's like a sit-in or something, a spiritual sit-in. I don't know how to say it, but I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that, but I've heard people talk about that. And it's basically, it's not like a possession, but it's kind of like it's something that can happen supposedly at any time. I'm skeptical of a lot of spiritual stuff, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know what I feel, and I try to be as down to earth as possible. But basically people say that, you can go from birth to age 6 and be like you could have your soul, but then another soul can come in and kind of like possess your body. And I don't know, it's weird, but it's not necessarily possession like a ghost or something. It's more so like another soul that wants to come through and have some time. I don't know what to say about that. But, child, when it comes to that type of situation, there's so much of a psychic connection that comes with you, you know, having that connection with your human mother. And then the fact that it's like, okay, if we don't know where these eggs are coming from, if like you're talking about surrogates, that's the crazy part that don't make no sense to me, because it's like when a feminine, a human born feminine is a surrogate, it's using her egg and the sperm of the male partner, right? And they're combining it because the woman doesn't have eggs that are viable, or it could be the sperm of the father and the egg of the mother, right? And then they just combine it and put it into the surrogate. So it's either one or two of those options. If you're telling me that this whole AI robot mom is created to help people replace surrogates, what happens if the feminine doesn't have a viable egg and the masculine is the one providing the sperm? It's like, where the fuck are you getting them eggs from? Like, it's just, child, that shit just blow my mind. I just felt like I had to talk about it. Because you aren't going to have that soul. I feel like part of the process of an infant or an embryo evolving and transforming into a human is the connection to the flesh. What's going to happen if these motherfuckers is connected to metal? It's just emptiness. You said, Dave, you said, but with all our technology, we still cannot independently select where our tax dollars go. I know that's right. It's crazy. With all this technology, we still can't figure out how to fix the water in Flint, Michigan, bitch. And you trying to tell me that these motherfuckers ain't trying to take us out? They trying to take us out. Kimmy, you said boycott Tennessee, drive around Tennessee on road trips. I know that's right. Unfortunately, my family live in Tennessee. Some of them. Yeah, that jab did make people lose their minds. And I think that's why, because I feel like behind the scenes, that's probably why, my back is itching. That's probably why Krista said that about the medical ethics defense, because a lot of them doctors didn't want to do that. I know for a fact they were protesting and they all lost their jobs. That's why they added that part in there about retaliation. Because a lot of them folks was a lot of them nurses and doctors got fired and they were retaliated against because they didn't want to have to do it themselves and they didn't want to have to force other people to do it who didn't want it. Off of some bullshit. Cause you know the nurses be the one to let you know what type of STDs is going around. You know, what type of illnesses people coming into the ER for. The nurses be the ones you need to listen to. Cause they be knowing what's happening when it comes to the intake of their practice. So if you know a nurse that works in the ER, and that's why there's so much talk right now about the influx in HIV and AIDS cases. Because the nurses are starting to tell people, hey, it's a lot of motherfuckers coming in here with problems and they actually turning out to have HIV and AIDS. So I think that's why they put that in there, because they were seeing on the front lines that it was some spoilage in the buttermilk. That's crazy. Dallas, you said they forced my son to get the jab in the military. We are on his 5th. Oh my God. You're on his 5th heart surgery, reacted right away. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's so many young. Oh my God. I am so sorry. First of all, Dallas, I am so sorry. That just make me so mad. Like, I'm not trying to laugh. It's uncomfortable laughter. It just make me so mad. Because it's like, you got the audacity. These motherfuckers have the audacity to play with people's lives like that. And that's why I say, like, you gotta have this, you gotta have a certain willpower, because it's gonna come a time. I told y'all a long time ago, and I said this on the other channel. It's gonna come a time. It's gonna come a time where you guys are gonna have to make certain decisions about what you're gonna do and what you're not gonna do. And you're gonna have to basically choose which side you on. And I'm not saying it's a pick sides, right or wrong thing. It's more so a personal decision. It's more so personally about where you want to reside. I mean, I can't say, I don't know exactly all the details of that whole Medical Ethics Defense Act, but I like the premise of it, because while it could be a situation where healthcare professionals that are bought and paid for these controlling forces try to enact some type of foolishness, it could also be a protection for healthcare professionals who are ethical to really step up and say no. Exactly. It's me speaking integrity. Like Bernie Mac, who you with? Because I mean, that's fucked up. And I know a lot of these situations that take place in society have hit home to a lot of you guys. And you didn't ask for that. And I don't think it's fair that y'all have to deal with that in your families, in your structures of community. It's some bullshit. And it's just like, you listen, I don't know what it was, but something in my spirit said no. When all that was going down, where they was telling you, oh, we're going to make it mandatory, you got to get this, you know, and I was dealing, I'm going to be honest with you, around that time, I was dealing with my family. And my family that's down here basically said that I can't come over and I can't come around because me and the boys didn't get the jab. And I was like, well, fuck it. Shit. Maybe that's why God allowed our relationship to be the way it is, because it ain't no biggie for me, bitch. Because we ain't getting no jab. Exactly, Quest. The line was drawn at that time for me. And I refuse to let my young sons, because I feel like they put things in those quote unquote jabs. They put things in them that are specifically targeted for certain people that react to our DNA, because you can't tell me that they're not doing research on our motherfucking DNA. I really, and I also just want to say, I really love and appreciate all of the support that y'all are giving Dallas. Also, Val, I saw you were going through something as well. And we you know, we got to send support to our people. Because, you know, we got to send, I appreciate y'all sending support to each other in the chat. That's beautiful. And I appreciate that. Okay. But yeah. What is it? Nanotechnology? Exactly. They put things in, and I feel like not only do they target certain demographics when it comes to race, you know, deoxyribonucleic acid of race and ethnicity, but they also target certain individuals when it comes to spiritual gifts, because I feel like there are markers in our DNA that indicate or are indicative of spiritual gifts. And unfortunately, I did not trust my government enough to not target my children or me. So that was where I drew the line. I said, hell the fuck no. I don't care if they kick us out and we gotta go somewhere to Mexico or some shit. Well, hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué tal? Mi amigos, mi amigas, mi familia. Ven aquí, mi familia, mi amigos. If we gotta do it, we gonna figure it the fuck out. Cause I'm not gonna put that shit in I'm not gonna allow or authorize for that shit to come in and try to rework my children's DNA. And you saw all them poor kids that were on sports teams in colleges just fucking dropping dead. Ridiculousness. And it's so frustrating because it's like that's and that's kind of what we was talking about earlier. It's so frustrating because that's not free will. But see, when they trick you like that, that's why I want you guys to be so strong when it comes down to your discernment and your intuition. I want you guys to be firm on that. Because when situations happen like that, where you have to make those decisions, I know that sometimes people don't have a choice. And I'm not faulting any of you for any decisions that you make. I never want any of you to feel, especially with what we've discussed this evening, I don't want any of y'all to feel like you were wrong or that you made the wrong choice. I don't think so. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and we got to try to find the reason in what happens. But what I'm saying is really pay attention to that, because they will make you feel, because that's the fucked up part. They say, oh, we put it in your face. We told you about it. You had free will, but you chose to do it. But then on the back end, it's like they're forcing us to do it. And that's what y'all got to pay attention to. Y'all got to pay attention to how it appears that they're putting it right in our face, but it also appears like we don't have a choice. Because if you notice, now that incentive and that push to get everybody to take the jab, it's non-existent. Ain't nobody talking about that shit no more. It's like Epstein. It done disappeared. Poof. Into the atmosphere, bitch. So it's like, when you look back on it, it felt very forced. But in reality, it wasn't actually something that you had to do, because they really couldn't tell you that you had to do it or not, because that was a free will choice. And at the time, because the controlling forces, what do? They control. At the time, there probably would have been some type of repercussions, whether it was family closing the door on you, or being let go from your job, or maybe even being dishonorably discharged. And that is a hard decision to make. So it's neither right or wrong, whatever y'all chose to do, but it's just something to think about. We done talked about a whole bunch of stuff, child. But apparently with all this technology, we still can't get fresh water in Flint, Michigan. Anyway. Dayu, you funny. I wasn't going to read that one. It's okay. Value said it's mentally challenged and disabled that are also falling into the hands of caregivers, counselors, and healthcare workers who are exploiting, trafficking, and abusing them. It really is. And that's why I always say it's so important to protect those groups. Like, it's so important to protect the children and the elderly. And people who are mentally disabled or people who are mentally challenged, they fall under those categories. So technically, if they have a mind of a child, or if they are a child, or if they have a mind that is slowed, those are the people we have to protect, because oftentimes a lot of these autistic kids who are nonverbal, I feel like in the next few years, prediction on the books, they're going to start talking. And when they start talking, baby, you better be ready. Okay? But see, Val, a lot about that is that's going to come back. A lot of that is coming back right now. A lot of these children who didn't have a choice, or teenagers, young adults who were disabled. Yeah, middle-aged, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not just saying like, when someone is mentally challenged or disabled as far as their physical disabilities, that puts them in the same category as a child or an elderly person when it comes to seriousness and need for protection. So that's why I was saying it like that, grouping them together. Quest, you said, look, Quest said, wait. Quest said that movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis showed that. Ooh, let me write that down. Look, I got action notes in our little book, the action items. You said something else earlier. I'm going to have to scroll back and look at it. I'm going to write that down. The movie. I think I saw that movie too. I think I watched that movie with my baby daddy long time ago. Jamie, you said also why it's important to keep your vibration high and set protection when you go to low vibration spaces. Yep, that's true. Because it was just 1:11:11 on the timer. We've been in here for a while. I'm about to get off in a minute, y'all. But we're gonna finish this. I'm gonna read some more of your comments. When you do, like, you have to understand, even if it's something, because I'm gonna say this very many times because I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist, so please don't take this as medical advice. The disclaimer has been stated several times and it is in the description box below. But when you talk about a lot of these things, like when the vid was happening, when I tell you, we talked about this too. I talked about this with you guys. A lot of us were doing things like boiling lemon water. Like, I was doing this whole boil. I was doing lemons, limes, cayenne, ginger, rosemary, thyme, turmeric, and like, I'm trying to think what else. That Cholula, that hot sauce, Cholula. And I was boiling it and then adding it to the tea that they make, that yogi tea that like helps you with your breathing and stuff. And we was drinking that shit every day because we got the vid like twice. And we was drinking that shit every day. I was making pots upon pots of that. Because I refused. Because what I was seeing was that everybody was getting it regardless of whether they got the jab or not. And it's just like certain things, you can't just fall in line. And when you do different things, whether it's physical activity or prayer or just going outside, putting your feet in the grass, it helps your body to reconnect to those archaic, very, instinctive, natural processes that they have worked so hard to try to disconnect us from. And I just feel like because we are unpredictable and because God be like, not on my watch, they weren't able to use us to harvest these demons through these portals. So they have to come up with ways to capture the mentally ill and the disabled and the homeless and the people who are strung out, because they have to collect as many of us who are weak and vulnerable as we can. And that's exactly why Jamie said you got to keep your vibration high, because you never know when you get caught up in one of those situations. And the more low vibrational you are, the more susceptible you are to getting caught up in those things. And either, fear, anxiety, stress, worries, all of these types of things, or even wanting for things that you wish you had and feeling as if you can't get those things. All of those things bring your vibration down and make you more susceptible to the infiltration on whatever level it's on. It's just we gotta be vigilant. Krista, you said, yeah, because what if the ambulance pulls up and it's against their moral compass to treat someone because it's an interracial couple or a gay couple? That is true, Krista. They're gonna have to put something in place with dispatch. They're gonna have to put something in place with dispatch. That is dangerous though. And you know what that is? That's the energy of the age of Aquarius. People don't realize that. But that duality right there, that's the energy of the age of Aquarius. And it's not always pretty in those situations. That's what happens. Yep, they sure do coincide. Christy, you said, what's the point of taking a medical oath to treat people and do no harm if you get to cherry pick who you help? Okay, I'll just bleed out while you find someone with a different moral compass. You got a point, girl. Listen, you better bring that point. You better bring that point. I see what you're saying. And I'm not disagreeing with you. That's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. And you know what I think is gonna come in, because in emergencies, it is fucked. It really is in emergencies. But that's why I think that, I don't know if y'all remember, I think it was on members, in the member section, but a while back, I was telling members around the same time where I did that reading about R versus W getting overturned, I did another reading that talked about how people need to hone in on the gifts, skills, and abilities that have been passed down from generation to generation, or that they have studied in this lifetime. And it came up recently in one of the readings where I told you guys that if you have skills, and I was talking about people getting laid off, I think. If you have skills like a medical professional, or you have training and certifications in some type of medical profession, there's a need for those people who are being laid off or discriminated against to see the beauty in that situation, because that scenario right there, Krista, that you pointed out, is exactly why those individuals who are rejected from the mainstream constructs of society because of their beliefs, because they're going to reject people. They say that they're not going to reject people or retaliate, but there will be rejection and retaliation. Those people are going to be the ones to basically be like the old school midwives. Because I think that's what I brought up in the reading. I was talking about how I was watching the show The Midwives over again. Those old school midwives, those old school medicine women, those old school doulas who came and delivered the babies and would go door to door. When I tell you, it's not going to go back to how it was, but there is going to be a transformation of how we view the world, how we view society. Everything is going to be turned on its head. And it's very difficult, because the hardest part for me that I feel like a lot of people are going to have is with acceptance. It's going to be hard for people to accept that this is the reality, because there's going to be feelings and sentiments just like Krista expressed, because it's going to be fucked. What we got to remember, though, is that this is what we've been preparing for. So when we think about all of these different situations, this is what we've been prepared for. This is what God, Source, Spirit, Universe has attempted and done their best to get us ready for, so that not only can we show up and show out, but we can do that by accepting the reality of what it is and not allowing us to get hung up on the travesty of the depravity that is unfolding before our very eyes. And that's just how I feel about it. Who you with? Oh my God. Val, you said in May my brother perished in a house fire with no smoke alarms, no evacuation plan, burglar bars on the windows, no supervision. I've been looking into his medical charts and it's, oh my God. Val, you guys, Dallas birth doula and Val, listen. I'm sending you guys love, support, healing, clarity, resolution, okay, to these situations. Because we gonna do a prayer from my spirit team to yours. I'm sending y'all all of those things because it's just not right at the end of the day. And we're gonna do a little group prayer in a minute. Yeah. It's me speaking. You said you just spoke on my nephew. I know he's gonna speak. He's gonna speak, but he know how to say bye bye real good. Oh, them nonverbals. I'm telling you, give it a few years. By 2030, they gonna be talking and they gonna be saying some shit because they done seen some shit. They just don't know how to say it. I'm telling you, I firmly believe on record, them nonverbals is gonna be saying some shit. Give them a little time. They just getting ready, okay? Oh, Val Quest said the name of the movie was The Surrogates. And he said it was he also said look into the book The Occult Technology of Power. Let me write that down too. You know what's crazy too about AI? I wanted to talk about this too because I heard about this. Oh, it's me speaking. That is so good with the YMCA's, food banks and stuff. I'm glad you do that. My apartment complex is doing a food drive, and um, in a few weeks, I'm gonna go up there and drop off some stuff for sure. Wait, where was I at? I'm so sorry for your loss, Val. I really am. Danny, you said my daughter said I couldn't see my grandson if I didn't. I got one of two. When I tried to get the second one, something kept getting in the way. I finally saw it as God's will. No second jab. Danny, I'm so glad you didn't get that second one. I get it. And that was hard decisions. My aunt moved from California to Atlanta because me, my cousins, my uncle, and my other aunt are here, and she moved here and she has health conditions, and they were like, oh well, you can't come over and you can't bring the kids over because y'all didn't get the jab. I was like, well, shit, I barely talk to y'all on the phone. But for people who do see their loved ones, it created a major rift between families. And again, that goes back to that control chaos to get people riled up or to get these submerged emotions to come up within people that makes them stressed out and makes them feel away and makes us all be on edge in this way where everybody's fucking crashing out. Listen, enough be enough. Hey, Bridget. So glad you're here. Traveling Freeman. You talking about sliding in some DMs, child. Listen. What else happened? Okay, so this is one last thing with AI, and then I am going to pray with y'all. We're going to do a little prayer if you like. We talked about the Chat GPT version changing. We talked about the pregnancy. Oh, yeah. We talked about what is AI really. So there's been a few things that have been going on. Let me just talk about these two things just so you can be informed. I heard that colleges, there was a story. Let me see if I can look it up for accuracy. Hold on. There was a story. They probably ain't gonna publicize this. Now, so this is alleged. This could be hearsay. I'm not speaking as if this is facts. But I heard from a reliable source that AI had been prank phone calling emergency numbers. This could have been somebody behind this. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Have you heard about this where AI was prank calling emergency from colleges or saying that they were at the college doing some type of terror attack or mass puming? AI got caught doing that too. They got caught calling emergency with sound effects and everything in the background. And apparently people who are in these colleges have been discussing it. And I just feel like that's crazy. Then also on YouTube, there's been a lot of people who are finding out that their content is being duplicated and copied and plagiarized by people who are AI content creators. They use AI to create their content, but I feel like they're plants. I always feel like there's industry plants everywhere. We pretty much covered all of it, but I just wanted y'all to know that that's happening too. And, you know, I think sometimes it's like when you have a controlling force that is disconnected from humanity, that's what happens. They try to replace human. We're being replaced. Don't be surprised if you start seeing less and less of your favorite content creators being recommended on this and other platforms. Don't be surprised if you start seeing more and more AI ads, because they don't care. These people are taking money. And what I want to finally say with all this AI stuff, bringing up the AI YouTube content creators and human content creators having their content stolen by AI and being pushed off the platform and basically made obsolete on this platform and other platforms, and also with the possibility that there could allegedly be AI prank phone calls created, I want you guys to just be very diligent and cognizant of what's real and what's fake. Because when I went to Dominican Republic a few years ago, I was amazed to see the hologram. Because back then, it was a lot of holograms and stuff. I was amazed to see the holograms in the airport. I was like, God dang. And that shit looked real as hell. The AI is going to get better, you guys. They're going to figure out how to create this AI, mommy iRobot. They're going to figure out how to make it more believable. If I can create a janky, raggedy AI image in 2 seconds, and they have all this computing power, they're going to figure out how to make it more believable. I want you guys to guard your emotions. I want you to guard like it's fucking Fort Knox. I want you to guard your emotions from now on until inevitability. Into infinity and beyond, bitch. Buzz Lightyear face ass. I want you to guard your emotions with the utmost consciousness, because it will creep in and it'll get you like a snake that jumped out the grass and bit you. Do not let these stories, these ads, these videos, these fake content creators get you in your feelings. And I know it might sound a little narcissistic. I know it might sound a little crass. I know it might sound a little cold-hearted. But I'm telling you this because it's a part of the control chaos. They're going to get better at deceiving. They're going to get better at the imagery. They're going to get better at all of these different things that are being used as tools to trick us into reacting and responding emotionally. That's why I started this off with the poll question of, is it more important to have peace, or is it more important to be right? Because these issues that they're going to start creating and curating, which could involve false imagery or fake imagery that is crafted through AI, is going to be used to trigger these emotions within you to get you to react and respond. And the main things that you need to remember is not to react. Process information or disconnect from the information so that you can see it from a higher perspective. The second most important thing that y'all need to remember is that community comes first. No matter how much they will try to turn us against each other and create these false videos and images and situations that involve different groups that we may have prejudice to, community is first. And if the next motherfucker don't remember that we're all humans together, you need to make sure that you remember that we're all humans together. And if there's somebody who doesn't agree with that sentiment, distance yourself. But don't lash out on each other in the community, and don't allow your emotions to get triggered when you react and respond. If you react or respond. I just want you guys to know that. Yeah, Jamie, I agree. There's been shallow humans around for a long time. They don't really be here. They just want more of them so that they can build the army. That's what it is. You're welcome, Nemo. Thank you for participating. I'm not doing questions tonight, but I'm going to leave off on a little prayer for you guys, for our beautiful circle members. And this is not a cult. Okay, make your own decisions always. Don't just blindly agree with me. Use your own discernment. I do not want to be accused of a cult, because I will never put you guys in the position of a cult. Oh, by the way, I'm releasing individual zodiac sign readings on the Nutcase Network. And I just did a collective over there about trafficking. And I put that on the title, but I don't know if it's trafficking for real. But I put it on the title, and this, I think it was Dallas, Texas. This pastor just got arrested for trafficking in a church, and it was a cult. But anyway, I'm not a cult leader. I don't want you to just blindly follow me. I want you to make your own goddamn decisions. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. Don't put me on the pedestal, bitch. Okay? Right after I'm cussing, let's do a prayer, please, for Dallas, Berdula, and Val. I'm going to lead the prayer. If y'all want to participate, feel free. All right. Whew. Guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest vibration, Father, Mother, God. I want to come to you right now with several members of our circle and several members of the collective, several people who really, really believe and trust and have faith that God, source, spirit, universe is in control. We want to specifically this evening send a special prayer out for Dallas birth doula and her son, and for Val when it comes to healing regarding her son. Was it your son? Ooh, I know this is bad, honey, but I just want to be specific. Your brother. Okay, sorry. You know, because we want to be specific. You ain't got to be perfect. You just got to have good intentions. God, we want to come specifically for Dallas birth doula's son going through situations with his heart, and for Val, who experienced a great loss of her brother, and all of the travesties that are connected to these situations. God, we just ask that you deliver healing, peace, and clarity in these situations for our beautiful members here of the collective. They have the intention, God, as far as I'm aware, of wanting there to be peace and resolution in these situations, God. And they feel that there has been an injustice. Father, Mother God, I ask that you allow their hearts to be at peace for whatever circumstances are going on right now with their family members and loved ones. I ask that you give them peace when it comes to your justice being served. I ask that you heal their hearts from any pain that they may feel from these situations and allow the souls of their loved ones to still remain strong no matter how much opposition is placed in their way. Allow them to remain strong for their loved ones as well, God. And for anyone else who is watching this live right now or who may be watching in the future, God, who needs strength and encouragement, God, I ask that you show up in their lives, and I ask that you allow them to see and feel your presence. I ask that when you show up in their lives, they're able to identify your warmth and your love so that they feel at peace and at ease with whatever situations that they may be going through. Whether it's financial struggles, whether it's personal relationships, or whether it's situations in their businesses, jobs, careers that they cannot control. Please put your hands on the situation, Father, Mother God, and show them that you are the one in control and that no one else who is masquerading and perpetrating as you has any power over their situation. We ask that you continue to give us strength to fight this good fight that we may be experiencing in our lives. And I ask that you allow for our intuition and our discernments to be strong. Put a covering over of all of us and protect us from any harm or any ill will that may try to come in our way. Allow our path to be cleared of any blockages and obstructions, and allow us to be visible and invisible when it is appropriate, God. Everyone who supports this channel and everyone who supports me as an individual and who sees past not just the channel, not just supporting the videos, but also sees past frivolous things to what's most important in life, God, please give them strength. Let those whose intentions are pure be seen and allow them to shine through any clouds or illusions that are created to try to keep them blinded or down. Let us all rise up and follow our paths and assignments in the ways that you see fit, God, and allow us to have peace in our hearts for everything that may transpire in the near future. And personally, whatever their individual prayers are that they may be praying along with this group prayer, allow for your will to be done, God, and for everything to turn out in a fair and balanced way for all individuals who are involved. We pray all these things and we ask all of these things collectively with love and with gratitude for your will to be done. In the holy name of the Mother and the Father, we pray. Ashe. Ashe. Listen. Ooh. Ooh. I feel it. Y'all know that song? I feel it. Doom, 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 doom. That just popped up in my head. I feel it. You're welcome, Val. Yes. Your baby brother. Krista says, sending waves of healing, thoughts, prayers, love, and universal hugs to us all. I know that's right. I love you guys so much. This has been an amazing live. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. I really appreciate it. We've been in here for about 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and go. Because my middle baby, my comedian, my lovey-dovey baby, he made some chicken tonight for us. He cooked the chicken tonight so I could get ready and do my makeup and go live. So shout out to you, Chris. Shout out to Jeremiah for also supporting his younger brother and both of them for being good big brothers. And shout out to Gabriel, my baby, for being so smart and intelligent and so loving and caring to his family. I love my children. I'm finna go eat that chicken. I'm glad you liked the prayer, Val. I hope you guys find strength in the prayer and just, find strength in your everyday lives. Honestly, I just want peace. I do. I want peace, but I'm that bitch. I will fight if I need to at the end of the day. Okay? If I need to chuck them deuces up and put that Vaseline on and get my stance ready, I'll fight. And I'll be sure to fight for folks who fight for me and those who are not able to fight for themselves. So listen, we got it, y'all. And I want you guys to just enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Get outside, touch some grass, put your feet in the grass, get some sun, talk to someone in your community. Okay? Do something kind for someone. Say hello to someone. Be a human this weekend and take care of yourselves. I love y'all. And remember, let me stop. I'll be like, what's that thing they doing? Remember, y'all, this is our Circle Boost. This was so much fun. I love you guys. Good night, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Be safe. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. Kisses.